If anybody got a chance to be a contender, it's the Fever, and so I'm gonna keep believing in.
We put on a show like nobody else.
Oh my goodness, come on! That's ridiculous!
We're motivated, we continue to be motivated every single time we step on that floor.
In our locker room, we expect to win championships, and that's what we're gonna try to do.
Hello guys! Welcome back to the channel. So today, we've got to talk about something that honestly just does not make any sense to me. Like, at all. And that's why the Indiana Fever have not taken a flyer on Hannah Stuelke as a training camp player. Because, let's be real for a second. This is a player who has already played with Caitlin Clark. The chemistry is there. The familiarity is there. And yet somehow, we're sitting here acting like she's not even worth a look? That makes zero sense. And if you guys don't know, training camp right now is basically a free-for-all. This is where smart organizations find hidden value. This is where you bring in players who went undrafted, players who slipped through the cracks, and you see if there's something there. And there were a lot of those players this year. We're talking about names like Maggie Lucas, Jordan Garçon, Kiera Dawn, players that people were genuinely confused about when they didn't get drafted. And what happened? The Phoenix Mercury said, "Thank you very much," and scooped them all up. All of them. So now you're looking around the league and thinking, okay, the smart teams are loading up on upside. They're bringing in competition. They're giving themselves options. And then you look at Indiana, and it's like, what the hell are we doing? Because as the roster is currently constructed, it looks like the Fever are about to go into the season with 2 undersized point guards and developmental spots. 2! And I'm sorry, but some of the players they're prioritizing right now, they're not better than what's available. They're just not. There are players out there right now who have a legitimate chance to fight for a roster spot, and Indiana is just ignoring them. Even someone like Grace Sullivan got picked up. Grace Sullivan got picked up. So you're telling me players like Hannah Stuelke aren't worth a training camp invite? Come on, that's crazy. And this is where I start to question the logic of this front office. Because we've seen them make decisions before that didn't exactly scream basketball reasons. Look at Victoria Saxton. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but let's be honest, what the hell was the justification there? She averaged 4 points and 3 rebounds in her senior season. 4 and 3. And yet, she was kept on the roster for 2 years. Why? Meanwhile, you've got players right now who are more skilled, more versatile, and frankly, more impactful, and they can't even get a camp invite? It doesn't add up. Now, let's bring it back to Hannah Stuelke specifically, because this isn't just about familiarity with Caitlin Clark, although that absolutely matters. This is about fit. This is about upside. This is about bringing in a player who can actually do something on the court. Stuelke is active. She runs the floor hard, she defends, she rebounds, she understands how to play within a system, especially one that involves a high-level playmaker like Caitlin Clark. That matters more than people realize. You can't just throw random players around a generational passer and expect it to work. You need people who understand timing, spacing, cutting, how to move without the ball. And she already does. So again, why wouldn't you at least take a look? Now, I know what some people are going to say. Well, Indiana might be waiting. They might be looking at other teams' cuts. Okay, fair. You look at a team like the Atlanta Dream, and yeah, they've got a crowded roster. They've got a lot of bigs. There's a real chance that someone like a fringe player gets cut. And if that happens, sure, you go after that player. But here's the thing. Training camp spots are not permanent. You can bring someone in, evaluate them, and if something better becomes available, you move on. That's the whole point. So why not bring in Hannah Stuelke now? Why not give yourself that option? Because right now, it feels like Indiana is limiting themselves for no damn reason. And that's the frustrating part. This team is not in a position where they can afford to ignore talent. They just aren't. They need to be maximizing every opportunity. They need to be taking swings on players who could outperform expectations. And instead, it feels like they're playing it safe. Too safe. Now let's talk about the bigger picture, because this isn't just about one player. This is about how you build a roster around Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston. You've got 2 cornerstone players. 2. That's a luxury. But it also comes with responsibility. You have to surround them with the right pieces. Not just name names, not just athletic potential, but players who actually fit. Players who understand their roles, players who can contribute in ways that don't always show up in the box score. And that's why someone like Hannah Stuelke makes sense. She's not coming in to be a star. She's coming in to compete, to defend, to rebound, to do the little things. And sometimes, those are the players that end up sticking. Those are the players that end up surprising people. But you'll never know if you don't give them a chance, and that's where Indiana is dropping the ball right now. Because while other teams are taking chances, while other teams are stacking their training camps with intriguing players, the Fever are just sitting there and hoping what they have is enough. And maybe it will be. Maybe everything works out. But if it doesn't, this is going to be one of those what-if situations. What if we had just brought her in? What if we had just given her a shot? Because the cost is nothing. That's the crazy part. You're not committing long-term money. You're not locking yourself into anything. You're just taking a look. And for a team in Indiana's position, that should be a no-brainer. So yeah, I don't get it. I really don't. There is no downside to bringing in Hannah Stuelke. There's only upside. And yet, here we are. Anyway, tell me what you think. Do you think the Indiana Fever should take a chance on her? Or do you think they're right to pass? Let me know down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe.
7 points. Here we are 2 months later, and she has the game that she just had. Just take me through that process, what you've seen, and what Hannah has done over this period of time to further establish herself.
Yeah, I think Hannah's tremendous, and I think it's just the confidence and belief. I think tonight she played with an energy about herself of, she really could go in there and dominate, and, she goes toe-to-toe with Aaliyah Edwards, who in my mind is one of the best players in the country. Was physical with her, guarded her well, boxed her out, and, she wasn't afraid to take it at her either. I thought when they subbed in some post players off the bench, Hannah continued to go at them. And, I'm just super happy for Hannah. She's worked so hard to be in this moment. She goes 5 for 7 from the free throw line, makes some big free throws for us. But, yeah, she was definitely a difference maker. So I think this is the Hannah we all know, just having that confidence within herself, because we all have it in her. So just would be super happy for her.
Going to move to our right, Nancy.